Explosions and aircraft reported over Caracas amid rising U.S.-Venezuela tensions. On the early morning of January 3, 2026, a series of loud explosions and the sound of low-flying aircraft were heard across Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, prompting fear and confusion among residents and triggering a rapidly escalating geopolitical crisis. At approximately 2 a.m. local time, at least 7 distinct explosions echoed through the city, accompanied by what witnesses described as aircraft flying at unusually low altitudes. In many neighborhoods, people rushed into the streets in alarm, unsure of the source or intent of the blast smoke, blackouts, and panic. Images and eyewitness accounts showed plumes of smoke rising over strategic sites in the city, including the La Carlota Air Base, a key military installation in Caracas. Residents in southern districts also reported power outages following the detonations, intensifying concerns about the scale of the incident. One local resident described the experience as terrifying. The whole ground shook. "This is horrible," she said, recalling both the explosions and the distant roar of aircraft overhead. Political fallout and accusations. The Venezuelan government swiftly responded with strong denunciations. President Nicolas Maduro's administration accused the United States of carrying out a military attack against Venezuelan territory, claiming that the explosions targeted both civilian and military infrastructure across multiple states. Venezuela's leadership framed the incident as a blatant act of military aggression and alleged that the U.S. aimed to undermine Venezuelan sovereignty and gain control over the nation's abundant natural resources, particularly oil and minerals. Colombia's President Gustavo Petro also weighed in, asserting on social media that Caracas was being bombed, and called for an urgent United Nations Security Council session to address the escalating situation. U.S. response and broader context. As of the latest reports, neither the White House nor the Pentagon had issued an official public statement confirming responsibility for the explosions. Sources cited in U.S. media, including CBS News, noted that some U.S. officials were aware of the reports, but there was no immediate formal confirmation or clarification from American authorities. The events unfold against a backdrop of increased tensions between Venezuela and the United States. In recent months, the U.S. military has been conducting operations targeting vessels suspected of involvement in drug trafficking in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific waters, and there have been persistent threats from U.S. leadership concerning broader military action against Venezuelan targets. Venezuela, for its part, has insisted it is open to cooperation on combating drug trafficking, while also accusing the U.S. of pursuing regime change. Situation ongoing. With conflicting claims and limited independent verification of the precise causes of the explosions, the situation remains highly fluid. International observers and governments are watching closely as Venezuelans seek answers and safety in the midst of what many fear could be a widening confrontation.